So, settle into your comfortable seat. Good morning. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. Thank you for joining this morning. Feel free to adjust yourself at any point. We can start off in either Sukhasana, easy pose, which is one leg layered in front of the other, or if you'd like, you can take one of your blocks and sit on it on your shins with a little bit of support under here. If your legs get uncomfortable or you feel like you need to stretch them out at any point, feel free. Whenever you settle into your seat, shift forward and remove any flesh out from underneath the sit bones, and then shift your shoulders back over your hips. And if you're sitting on a blanket, you might even want to roll the back edge of the blanket up just so that your seat has a little bit of a lift. The higher your hips are from your knees, the more of a proper blood circulation will flow and there'll be less chance of them falling asleep. So settle in, get comfortable. Hands can land in the center of your lap or maybe balanced on each leg. Eyes are closed, or maybe if it's more comfortable, your gaze is soft, down just over the tip of your nose. And notice everything in the distance kind of blur if you're honoring that soft gaze. And then we'll start with a couple full deep rounds of breath. So on your next inhale, inhale fully, roll the shoulders up by your ears. On your exhale, roll your shoulders down your back, move them away from the ears. We're going to take that 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let your shoulders melt down your back and fall back into a natural breath. In and out through the nose. Start with just a soft breath. Try not to change or control anything in your breath. Just let it show up as it is. With your shoulders stacked over your hips, feel your tailbone draw down towards the earth. Feel the parts of your seat that are connected to your props or the ground. Really tap into that density, that sensation of rooting through your foundation, that grounding down. And as you sit in that weight or that density or that seat of power, feel the length of your spine grow tall as your heart lifts up towards the sky. And again, shoulders move down your back. Back of the neck is nice and long, so your chin comes parallel to the earth as the crown of your head reaches towards the sky. And then feel that opposing energy, that lifting or that rising. Almost like you're tethered between the sky and the earth. The energy is moving in opposition so strong that it almost feels like you're just suspended effortlessly in space. As your senses begin to withdraw and you turn inward, come back to your breath. Notice your natural flow of breath. And begin to draw your breath down towards the base of your spine if it isn't already there. Slowly feel your belly move into expansion through each inhale. As your belly grows towards that Buddha shape, exhale, feel it sort of deflate like a balloon as your navel draws back towards your spine. As we move towards a Dirga breath, begin to honor all 3 chambers of your torso. So your breath starts at the base of your spine. Feel your inhale travel up between the ribs and all the way up to the top of your heart. Feel your chest, feel it lift. Exhale from the chest, from your heart, all the way down past the ribs to the base of your spine as you empty. Feel your navel retract back, and then inhale, give into that transition as you fill, all the way up to the top of the breath, and then exhale, release. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Pause at the top of the breath, sip in a little bit more, and honor that retention, that kumbhak. Notice the transition or the want to transition breath, and then give in as you empty, nice and slow and easy. Evenly paced until you empty fully. Feel your navel retract back towards your spine, and then pause in that emptiness. Notice the urge to transition breath, and then give into the transition as you inhale. Honoring that retention at both the top and the bottom of your breath. A perfect opportunity to observe your mind, your thoughts. Each time you fill up to the top, pause, notice thoughts. And then exhale, empty, pause at the bottom. Notice your mind. And continue to connect the mind's eye with your breath. You might even see your breath ride the wave of your spine up and down as you breathe through Dirga breath. Notice the sensation of calmness that starts to wash over you, especially at that point of retention at both the top and the bottom of the breath. Finding that space. Continue your 3-part breath practice and begin to cultivate an intention for your practice this morning. Perhaps you came to the mat with an intention already, or perhaps you'd like to see what surfaces or see what bubbles up, maybe with a little bit of breath and movement. And when you're ready, allow 1 full deep round, Dirga breath to seal your intention. If you want to, keep your eyes closed, or you can leave them open if your gaze is nice and soft. And drop your chin down towards your chest. And take a full deep breath here. Keep the spine long, and you're just folding at the cervical spine as you draw your chin down to your chest. Take a full deep breath into the back of your neck. And then from here, begin to take your head left to right, moving nice and slow. Keep breathing. And the next time your head comes over to the left, stay there, and then pick up your chin, up and down, like you're drawing a kind of diagonal line with your chin. Good, and then the next time your chin comes back down, so your gaze is more towards your lap, bring your chin through center, over to the right, and then draw your diagonal line up and down. So the neck is still towards the right shoulder, but then the head is sort of like shaking its side to side, like it's saying no. Good, and then gaze back down, come back to neutral, and if it feels okay, come all the way around. Full neck circle through the cervical spine. Full deep breath as you move. Last one. And then you're gonna do 3 in the opposite direction. If you're not taking the full circle, then just stick with the half circles, left and right. Good, one more. And then bring your chin back to neutral, pick your head back up. So before we kind of lifted the shoulders up towards the ears and then rolled them down the back. So this time you're gonna lift up and roll forward 3 times. Lift up and forward, up and forward. Good. If you're sitting in a cross-legged position, switch your feet so that the opposite foot is on top or in front, whatever seat you were in, and then grab your strap or your strap-like thing and open it up nice and wide and place it over your right shoulder. And then from here, inhale, right arm comes all the way up towards the sky. Drop your biceps by your ear, but drop your shoulder down. Bend your elbow and take your right hand to the back of your heart. Grab onto your strap. Left hand comes out to the side, thumb side is down. The back of your hand meets your low back for the bottom half of the strap. So if you have the space already this morning and you'd like to crawl your left hand up and your right hand down, maybe your fingertips start to find each other. If not, just hold onto your strap, nice easy grip. Lift your right elbow high and keep your neck neutral. So with your left hand behind your back, your chest is gonna wanna jut forward. Bring awareness to the bottom, the base of your rib cage, and draw your rib cage in, sort of like the bottom of your rib cage is moving downward towards your hip points, and your hip points are lifting up towards the bottom of the rib cage. Relift the right elbow. 2 more breaths. Nice straight spine. Make sure your head isn't moving forward, everything's in neutral. Good, and then very slowly unwind. Arms come out to a T position. Your right arm is gonna cross over the left. Let your elbows cross and then take your hands to opposite shoulders. From here, lift your elbows up and maybe crawl your fingers back towards your shoulder blades. And then from here, you might just sit and breathe, feeling the expanse in the back of the shoulders. If you want, you can take the backs of the hands together in sort of like a half eagle bind, or come for the full eagle bind with fingertips in front of the palm. And then whether you are taking this variation or the variation with the hands on the shoulders, begin to draw a line with your elbows up as you inhale. And exhale, roll down. Inhale up. Exhale, drop down. Take one more inhale. And exhale. Good, come back to neutral. Very slowly unwind, roll the shoulders out. And then take your strap over to the left shoulder. This time, left arm lifts, inhale. Take the back of your left hand to the back of your heart. Palm is the thumb side of your right hand is down, palm meets your low back for the low part of the strap. Wiggle your fingertips together if they are close enough to make that bind. Otherwise, lift the left elbow. Make sure your head and neck is free. Drop your right shoulder down, but don't force it down too much. Let it just kind of be neutral. And then take 3 breaths here. Very slowly release. Let your arms come out by the sides. This time, left arm over the right. Cross the elbows. Start with your hug. Lift your elbows up. Full deep breath into the back, the upper back, shoulder blades. And then if you want, take your half bind or go for your full bind. Lift the elbows. Maybe draw your forearms away from your face if they're there. And then inhale, lift the elbows up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Come back to neutral, roll the shoulders out. If you want, you can interlace your fingers behind you and then stretch the arms straight and lift your hands up off of your seat if that feels okay for your shoulders. Maybe take the arms side to side, sort of yogi's choice, whatever feels good. And then when you're ready, take your strap out in front of you. Arms come out into a V. Grip the strap nice and light. And then on your next inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, see if you have any space to draw the shoulders back. If you need space, take the arms out a little wider so you make the strap longer. And then begin to work your hands back down. If you're feeling a point of sensation and it's not enough, then you walk your hands closer together. The inhale draws it back up. Exhale, down. I'm going to tighten mine a little bit. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward. So when you go back, it can be really intense on the shoulders. You're just looking for sensation. You're not looking for anything that's, if you feel anything sharp or acute or like a pinch, then you want to widen your hands a little bit. Just looking for a gentle stretch. Take one more. Come back forward and release your strap down. You can take it to the side. We'll revisit the strap later on. So from here, just your seat if you need to. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, take your left hand down towards the side. Reach the right fingertips up and over. Ground through your right hip. Lift your heart up as you gaze under your right elbow. Full deep breath. And then inhale through center. Ground the right hand down, left arm lifts up. Start with your gaze forward, ground through your left hip, and then lift your gaze, spin your heart towards the sky. Full deep breath. Good. Inhale, come up, left hand behind you, right hand meets your left leg or your knee. Inhale to find length. Exhale, twist, gaze comes over your left shoulder. Two more breaths. Each inhale invites length through your spine. Each exhale, a little bit of depth in your twist. Make sure you gently engage the core to support the twist. And then arms rise up, inhale. Exhale, twist to the other side, right? Our left hand meets your right leg. Right hand behind you. Inhale to find length. Exhale, gaze comes over the right shoulder. 3 breaths. Gently tone the core to support your low back. Good. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Take your legs out in front of you. Shake your knees. Might feel really good if you stayed in that seat the whole time. Flex your feet, open and close toes. And then bring your legs together. Flex your feet, hands come down by your side. Gently, if you want, take your blocks by your side if your hands have a hard time reaching the ground. Gently press your hands down into the mat. Roll the elbows in if there's any extra space. Lift the heart, shoulders roll back so you're sort of in like a cobra, a baby cobra shape through the upper half of your body. And then send your heels forward so much that your quads activate and your heels float right off the mat. Tone the low belly. Keep this entire shape with your body and then lift your arms up overhead. Try not to squeeze the shoulders towards the ears. Keep everything relaxed. There's a lot happening in the core, the quad, the legs. One more breath. Release the heels down. Use your belly the tone of your belly to keep the spine straight as you hinge at your hips. Hands can come down to your shins or your ankles, the outside edges of your feet. You have a lot of length in your hamstrings. Maybe you take a block to the bottoms of your feet so that you have an extra 4 inches to grab onto. Draw your toes back towards your knees. Feel that stretch through the calf. Send your heart forward for one more breath. Keep the feet flexed, and then if you'd like, you don't have to, but if you want to, drop your nose down towards your knees and sort of fold through the rest of your spine. Keep the knees nice and soft if it's too much. Good, and then come back up. Spin your legs behind you, take your blanket underneath your knees if you want a little bit of cushion. We'll come into table pose. Wrists under your shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet are on the mat. From here, find a neutral spine. So sometimes we have a tendency to sink down into the shoulders, feel the belly sort of drop down. There's a big sway in the low back. Really press your hands through the mat so the heart lifts up and out. And then lift the bottom of the rib cage up towards the sky. So you have this nice long spine, and then your tailbone draws back, crown of your head draws forward. And feel this tone of the belly. From here, extend your right leg out. Toes stay connected to the mat. And stay right here, maybe press through your right heel. If you want to play with core this morning, really press through the ball of the right foot, float the left knee off of the mat. Good, then drop the left knee down, right knee down, extend the left leg. Start with just a couple pulses forward and back, opening up the left leg. You can stay here, maybe stay in a sweet spot of sensation if you found one. If you're working with core, press through the left toes, float the right knee high. Feel how the back of the heart lifts up and out of the shoulders. Feel how the low rib cage draws up and in. And then you want to hold that with the spine. Drop both knees down. Come back to that neutral table pose. Again, feel the press of the hands, the heart lift up and out. Bottom of the rib cage draws in. From here, drop the belly, lift your heart for cow shape. On your exhale, round the back of the heart up real high. Drop the tail and the crown of the head down towards the ground for cat. Inhale, heart comes forward. Exhale, round. Spread the fingers nice and wide, really ground down to the base of each finger and your thumb. And as you move through cat and cow, we'll start to find some movement forward and back. So as you inhale, shift the hips back as you lift the tailbone, lift the heart. Exhale, round through the back of the heart, shift forward slightly. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the heart, shift back. Exhale, round. Starting to find a little bit of an undulation in the spine. And the next time you inhale, drop the hips all the way down into child's pose. Let your head be the last to land. And then on your inhale, roll up through the back of the heart. Come forward, lead with the heart. Head is the last to land in cobra. Inhale, extension through the front line of the body. Use your knees to support you. Tuck your toes, shift back, downward facing dog. Exhale, heels lift high, roll forward into plank. Drop the knees. Lift the head, lift the tail, exhale back to child's pose. Inhale, roll forward, lead with the back of the heart, move forward into your cobra. Head is the last to land. Exhale, extension through the front line. Keep the tail lifted, heart lifted, tuck the toes, shift back down dog, head's the last to drop down. Once the head drops down, lift the heels right away. Inhale, move forward, kind of like a worm into plank. Drop the knees, lift the heart, lift the tail, untuck the toes, shift the hips back, child's. We'll continue to move like that. Inhale with the breath, roll forward through cobra. Exhale, Tuck the toes, shift up and back, downward facing dog. Head's the last to land, nice undulation of the spine. Inhale, roll forward. Plank, drop the knees right away, lift the heart, lift the tail. Shift back, child's pose. We're gonna take one more. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, shift back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, roll into plank. Drop the knees. Exhale, extension through the front line. Child's pose. Head is the last to land and stay. Full deep breath. Flip your palms over, open and close your fists if your wrists are speaking to you. And then inhale, come back up to table pose, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep bend in the knees to start, maybe your belly meets your thighs. You're just looking for length in your spine here, so spread the fingers nice and wide, ground them through the base of each finger, especially the base of your thumb. If your knees are so bent that your belly meets your thighs, maybe start by just taking the seat off side to side, stretching open each side of your body. If your legs are more straight, you can also do this by taking your heels off to one side and the other. Or just sit in stillness, pedal your dog, anything that feels good. We have about 2 to 3 more breaths here. Fully release your head and neck. Press the palms into the mat. Feel the shoulders lift up and away. Looking for a nice straight spine. The length in the legs will come later. Good. On your next inhale, gaze comes up towards the top edge of your mat. Step up to meet your hands, as many steps as you need for forward fold. Deep bend in the knees as well. Maybe your belly meets your thighs as you release your head, neck, and shoulders down. And with your hands on the ground, shift forward and back. Feel the weight of your body come into your toes and then your heels. Toes and then your heels. And then find neutral, right in between your arch. Nice balance between the front and the back of your feet. And then if you'd like to find your bind, maybe grab opposite elbows. If the shoulders, if you're really looking for some more shoulder work, you can interlace your hands again if you're low back, the elbows soft, and then when you're ready, straighten the arms and bring your fingertips overhead. Maybe a gentle sway, side to side. Whatever feels good for your forward fold. If you have a bind of any kind, keep the hands down. Tent your fingers, inhale, lift your heart, keep your knees soft, spine nice and long. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands come to your shins, maybe your legs straighten out a little bit more, lift the heart, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, one more time, hands on the floor or on your shins. Exhale, fold. Start to feel the energy come back down towards your feet. When you're ready, root to rise. Nice soft knees, tone the low belly, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. You can stay here with hands at heart center, or bring your hands down by your sides, palms face forward. Full deep breath. With your eyes closed, come back to your attention. One more round. From here, bring your feet about hips distance apart. Nice soft bend in the knees. On your inhale, arms rise up, gaze up, keep the knees soft. You have this natural curve of your low spine, but then also tone the low belly. With the gaze up, you feel the heart lift, and then on your exhale, deepen the bend in your knees and fold forward. Let your fingertips brush the floor and come up behind you, and then inhale, scoop up, deep bend in the knees, keep the spine long, heart lifts up as you inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Keep the knees nice and soft and the hinge at your hips. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Feel free to close your eyes if you like. Exhale. Really important to keep the knees soft. Inhale. Exhale. Begin to exhale with your mouth open. So you're sort of like sighing it out. And we'll begin to bring some hard breath into it to really accentuate that exhale. So as you inhale, your arms come up. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Eventually bringing in the huh from the deep belly. Ha. Ha. Last one. Ha. Inhale up. Let your hands float down by your sides. Open your eyes if they're closed, and then pause. Let your gaze be kind of blurry as you settle your energy. And then heel toe your feet out a little bit wider and start to sway your hands side to side for empty coat sleeves. Keep the heels grounded to start, and just bring this into your spine. Inhales through the center, exhales to one side. Feel free to lift the heels off. You want to bring it into the hips. Part the lips and allow the breath to start to sigh out of your exhale. Bringing in the deep from the belly, H sound. Ha, 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 ha. Release the breath. Ground the heels. Slow your arms down. Nice, gentle, empty coat sleeves. And then finally, let your arms rest. Feel the energy. Just stay where you are, as minimal movement as possible. Let the energy settle. And then open up your feet a little bit wider. Take your right hand to your right thigh or your right shin, depending on how much opening you have through the left side right now. And then the left arm comes up. Nice big side bend. And then inhale, lift through the left arm. Use your core, take your left hand down on your left leg, lift the right arm up. We'll start to move with breath. Inhale through center, exhale, other side. Inhale, center, exhale, other side. Next time you come over to the right, take your left fingertips down towards your armpit, reach through the elbow. So notice as you reach through your elbow how it kind of stretches open this whole left side. And then slide your left hand down your left side, down the left leg, lift the right arm up, reach through the elbow. Feel that stretch, that opening, especially through this right hip. Inhale, center, exhale. We're gonna start slow. You can stay at this pace if this is what serves you. Feel free to stay at this pace and still honor the Hara breath as we bring it in. If you'd like to move a little bit faster, inhale, center, exhale to one side. Stay at the forceful exhale or really bring it in from the belly. Ha, 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 Keep going, reach through the elbows. When done correctly, this really works the obliques. Ha, ha, ha. Release the breath. Start to slow down. Maybe next time you hit one side, extend the arm up, back towards the ceiling. And then slide it back down, extend the opposite arm back up towards the ceiling. And then almost like you're grabbing onto a rope, use your core to bring you back up, heel toe your feet in, and then feel. Close your eyes if you'd like. Take 2 to 3 full deep rounds of breath. On your next inhale, arms rise up. Soft bend in the knees, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms come up. Inhale. Exhale, dive back in. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms come up. Inhale. Last one, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now root to rise on your inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, hands pass back up and overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step both feet back, plank pose. Hold here, 3 breaths. Lift the heels high, shoulders over the wrists. Really press the palms down, feel the back of the heart lift up and out of your shoulders. Crown reaches forward as your tailbone reaches back. One more breath. Try not to let your hips sink down and your heart come forward. Keep everything lifted, back of the heart doming up and out. Good, then drop to your knees. Shift your shoulders forward, lower all the way to your belly. Walk your hands down towards the base of your rib cage and untuck your toes. Maybe lift one leg and the other. Elbows over the wrists. Roll the shoulders back. On your inhale, head, neck, and shoulders rise up just a little bit. Keep the shoulders higher than the elbows. Lift through your inner thighs. So the pinky toe sides of your feet draw down towards your mat. And there's a couple options here. From here, if you want, you can just find some baby pulses and cobra, baby cobra. You can stay in stillness and float your hands up off of the mat. Roll the shoulders back, elbows in. If you're looking for more of a back bend, keep the hands on the ground and gently press up into a deeper version, a full cobra. Continue to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Wrap your elbows in towards your rib cage. One more breath. Whatever version you're in, gently guide yourself back down to your belly. Then use your knees for support as you press up and back to downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet when you arrive. Or just sit in stillness. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. Toes point down. Lift through the inner right thigh. Keep the hips square. See if you can float your heel a little higher. Lead with the inner right thigh. Then from here, tone your low belly if you'd like. Bend your knees, stack your hip. The weight of your body's going to want to sink into your left hand. Press down more towards the right hand to help keep the shoulders square. Good, and then close your right hip. Take your right knee in towards your nose and step up to the top of your mat. Left knee comes down. If you have blocks, feel free to grab them. Otherwise, you can stay on your fingertips, or you can take your hands to books. Right knee is over your ankle. You can stay here in stillness or gently sway side to side and start to coax that left hip open. Try to have your hands on something. Since we're really giving into the hips here, you don't want to put all your body weight onto the muscles of your hip flexors. So if your hands aren't down on anything to support the weight of your body, then you're really going to want to kind of zip the thighs in towards each other so you have that support in the hips. If hands are down and you're free to really open up and kind of shift around here, then obviously most of the pressure is going into your hands. So you're opening up nice and gently through the hip. On your next inhale, lift your heart up. Maybe even tent your fingers on your blocks or bring your blocks up to a higher setting. Notice when you lift the heart, the deeper stretch comes into your left hip. And then on your exhale, press into the right foot, straighten your right leg as you lift your right toes up. Ardha Hanuman. Draw your toes back towards your knee, nice long spine. If you have any room, you can hinge at your hips to bow forward. Hands can stay on blocks or come off of your blocks. Right toes pour out to one side and the other. Good, and then crawl your hands forward. Step your hands to the inside of your right foot and heel toe your right foot out to the side. So now with both hands into the center, drop the hips down, lift your heart, keep your right knee snuggled up against your right shoulder. And then on your exhale, shift the hips back, lengthen your right leg and bow forward. Right leg still to the outside of your hands. Inhale, come forward into that rabbit shape or lizard shape. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, shift forward. Last one. Exhale, shift back. Stay here for a breath. Use your hands on the ground to help, or on your blocks to help shine your heart forward. Flex the toes back towards your knee. Feel that stretch through the calf. Good, and then come forward once again. This time, if you'd like, you can open up your right toes to the side. Just let your knee follow. And if you want to bring a twist into it, ground through the left hand, take your right hand to your right thigh. Open up your heart to the right side of the room. You can stay right here or even bend the left knee and reach back with your right hand. This might be where your strap comes in handy. If you don't have a strap, press into your right foot, send your hips back to find your foot, and then you can kind of gauge how far forward you come by rebending the knee. Maybe it's only this much and you're getting a nice calf stretch, quad stretch, which works just fine. If that's not enough sensation, you feel like you want to come forward more, then that might be more sensation for your quad. So you can kind of gauge the pressure. Take one more breath here. And then let the foot go with control. Take your right hand back down. Swing your right leg around. It will come to the outside of the left side of your mat. Toes are on the mat. Toes are on the floor. Press through the right heel and then gaze over your left shoulder to see your right foot. Big opening through the right side body. And then return your right knee to meet your left. Inhale for cow shape. Exhale, cat. Next inhale, tuck your toes, lift your heart. Exhale, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pedal up feet. Or just sit in stillness. And then from here, ground through your right foot, lift your left leg high. Lift through the inner line of your left leg. Toes point down. See if you can float your left heel a little higher. Stretch open the back of your right leg. Then if you want, tone your low belly, bend your knee, and stack your hip. The weight's gonna wanna go towards the right, so send some more weight into your left palm to square the shoulders. And then with control, close your left hip. Take the left knee in towards your nose and step up to the top of your mat. Right knee comes down, grab blocks if you'd like. You have your 5 breaths to settle into whatever feels good on your right side. So again, the lower your hands or your blocks are to the ground, the more that your hip is going to stay kind of gently opening, or sort of, you can even imagine it being closed a little bit, as opposed to bringing your hands onto higher parts of your blocks, or even tenting your fingers. The higher you lift your heart, the more of an opening you feel in your heart. So take your 5 breaths to find your edge. Make sure most of the pressure is in your hands and you're not leaving all of that to the hips. Left knee over left ankle. And then from here, inhale, lift your heart if it isn't already lifted. Exhale, shift the hips back. Left toes rise. Ardha Hanuman. Nice length in your spine as you inhale. Shine the heart forward. And then on your exhale, hinge at the hips and bow. Left toes might come up to one side or the other. Good, and then crawl forward. This time, both hands come to the inside of your left foot, heel toe your left foot out to the side. Left knee is still snuggled up against your left shoulder. Inhale here to lift your heart. Exhale, shift the hips back. Left leg is on the outside of my left shoulder. Left toes lift. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, shift back. Last time, inhale forward. Exhale back. Good, come forward once again. If you'd like to, just step the left toes out. Just make sure that your left knee stays stacked over your ankle. You might run through the right hand and bring a twist as you open your heart and your gaze up to the left side. You can stay here. You can also bend your right knee and reach back with your left hand. Again, if you can't reach, just press, lengthen the left leg to find your toes. And then once you find your toes with your strap or your hand, you can start to gauge how far forward you come back with that left knee. If you can, come all the way forward again. Lift the heart back up. Good, and then with control, take the right toes down, left hand down. Pick up your left leg, swing it all the way to the right side of the mat. Step it off of the mat, ground down through the ball of your left foot, and then gaze over your right shoulder to see your left toes. And then take your left knee back to meet the right. Knees open up nice and wide, big toes come to touch. Sit back in child's pose. Full deep breath. Hands come forward once again. Inhale for table, knees under hips, tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full deep breath in and out. Notice if your heels are dropping down towards the mat a little bit more as you gain length in the back of your legs, especially after that hamstring and hip stretch. And then inhale, gaze comes forward. Exhale, step or hop up, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Hand placement is yogi's choice. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms come all the way up. Exhale, settle into Utkatasana chair pose. Hands can stay either overhead, at heart, or down in airplane pose. Sit a little bit lower. And then from your chair pose, hinge at your hips and shine the heart forward so you're in a power chair. Send the weight back into your heels. Fingertips shine forward if you aren't already in airplane arms. And then inhale, arms come up. Exhale, sit back. Heart shines forward, fingers reach back. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. And we'll bring some balance in. Inhale up, take the left knee with you. Exhale down. Inhale up, right knee comes up. Exhale down. Keep moving. One more each side. And sit back, hold. Shine the heart forward. You're in your power chair. Sit the seat a little lower. Inhale, and then exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Spend an extra couple breaths there. Feel the energy move through your quads. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back, plank. Hold your plank for a moment, find your form. If you want to, drop your knees to the ground. Shift forward, either lower all the way to your belly or halfway for modified chaturanga. Keep the shoulders above the elbows. Inhale, heart comes up, baby cobra, full cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel free to use your knees at any point. If you want to skip the flow of the vinyasa through chaturanga, feel free to just shift right back to down dog. Full deep breath. From here, right leg lifts. Inhale. Feel free to tone the low belly, bend your knee and stack your hip. Otherwise, keep it closed. Exhale, close the right hip. Take your right knee in towards your nose. Pause here. Really press through the hands. Feel the dome of the back of the heart. And then step forward. Ground the back heel for warrior one. If you'd like crescent warrior one, that's fine. Inhale, arms come up. Deep bend into your right knee. Draw the low rib cage in. Try not to lift and kind of overextend. Keep everything in alignment. Feel that stretch through the left hip. And then open up to the side, warrior two. Deep bend into your left knee. I'm sorry, right knee. Open it up towards the pinky toe side of your foot. Flip your front palm. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extended side angle. Right forearm gently meets your thigh. Left bicep by the ear. Stretch the fingers nice and wide, but plug your left shoulder in. Feel the line of energy from the outer left toes, or outer left line of the foot, all the way up to the left fingertips. Maybe take your bottom hand to heart if you want to make sure that the core is holding you and you're not like leaning into your shoulder. Good, and then reverse, straighten out your right leg as you inhale. Exhale, Trikonasana, lead with the right arm. Hinge at the hips, take your right hand to your shin, maybe to start. Left arm opens up. From here, almost like you have a string on the inner left thigh. Pull the string forward. Feel the inner left thigh open up as your left hip stacks over the right, and it kind of aligns this whole left side of your body. Gaze is either to the side or up to the sky. Good, deep bend into that right knee. Take your left hand down to the floor, spin the left heel up, right arm comes up for a twisted lunge. And then right hand comes down, step back, plank pose. Yogi's choice, you can skip the lowering and just shift right back to down dog if you want. Otherwise, take your lowering. Maybe knees hit the ground for some support. Keep the elbows in, shoulders lifted higher than the elbows for your back bend, and then exhale, we'll all meet. Maybe you just sat in child's pose for a couple of breaths. We'll all find each other again in down dog. This time, left leg lifts. Hone your low belly, bend your knees, stack your hip if you'd like. Exhale, close the hip, left knee comes in towards the nose, pause. Stay here. Tuck the knee in high. Feel the core, and then with control, step through. Crescent Warrior 1 or Warrior 1, arms come up. Crescent version is with the back heel lifted. Like I have more comfortable practicing, but it's whatever feels best for you and your hips. Deep bend into that left knee. And then from here, drop that back heel down, open up Warrior 2. Deep bend into the right knee kind of presses out to the pinky toe side of your foot. Virabhadrasana, Virabhadrasana, Warrior 2. Feel the thighs squeeze towards each other, kind of like the energy is drawing in. Flip your front palm, inhale, reverse. Deep bend into that front knee. Exhale, left forearm to the thigh. Urdhva Konasana. Try not to lean into your shoulder too much. Keep the line of energy from the pinky toe side of the right foot all the way up. Maybe left hand can find your heart. And then inhale, reverse, straighten out that left leg. Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Lead with the left fingertips. Nice long line here through the left side. Left hand meets your shin. Right arm opens up. Again, find the strain on the inner right thigh. Kind of feel it open as the hip opens and stacks up over the left. Right rib cage over the left. Right shoulder over the left. Nice long side body. Not only through the right side, but also, I'm going to tighten up my shirt here, through the left side as well. So you're not collapsing. Everything stays long. Deep bend into your left knee. Take your right hand down to the floor. Swivel the right heel up. Lift the left arm, twisted lunge. Zip that left knee in towards center line, but let it splay out. And then left hand comes down, plank. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Remember, you can take child's pose, any lower you'd like, or you can just go from plank to down dog, which is good for strengthening the shoulders. Full deep breath when you arrive. Inhale, gaze comes up. Either step or hop up, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms come up. Exhale, Utkatasana. Hands come down, find that powerful chair pose. Inhale, arms come up, left leg lifts. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, arms come up, right leg lifts. Exhale, back. Continue to alternate. The next time your left leg lifts, stay here. Take the outside of your left ankle to the top of your right knee. Hands can come to heart. So you can stay right here. Figure 4. If you want to get into the left hip, bend the right knee. If you have a wall or a pillar out in front of you, feel free to hold on to it. If you want to take the balancing element right out of it and just get into the hips, take your hands down to your blocks or the floor. Keep the left foot flexed. A lot of options here. You can take it into a balanced posture, honoring your drishti, or you can really fold forward and breathe into that left hip. Pick your left hip up, it's going to want to sink down. Lift it up. If you're balancing, you got a couple more breaths. If you're in the hip, come back up to your balance, find your drishti first, take one hand to heart, the other hand to heart. Lift the left knee up towards your chest, step back, chair pose. See if you can hold the flow. Hands come back. Inhale, right leg comes up. Nice control, figure 4. Yogi's choice, stay in your balance. Bend the knee, challenge the balance while also getting into the hips. Again, if there's a wall nearby, use it. Take the balance out of it completely if you want, by taking your hands all the way down to blocks or the floor. Flex the right foot, full deep breath. If you're in the full hip stretch, lift the right hip up a little bit. Try not to let it sink down or sink back. Keep it in alignment with the left and right hip square. You're balancing, just a couple more breaths. If you're in the hip stretch, take your hands back up. Lift your drishti. Solidify it, take both hands to heart, and then pick the right knee up. Hold the flow, step back. Chair pose. Good, inhale up. Both legs stay grounded. Exhale, fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back, plank pose. Yogi's choice will mean in downward facing dog. If you like the lowering, feel free to honor your back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full deep breath. Pedal the feet. Inhale, right leg lifts. Tone the low belly, bend your knees, stack your hip. Exhale, close, take right knee in towards your nose, step forward. Good, inhale, crescent warrior one, arms rise up. I encourage you this time to keep the back heel lifted. If it's down, because that supports your balance better, then that's fine. You'll just have to really square the hips as we transition. We're coming into warrior three. So hands will come down by your side, airplane. Shift the heart forward. So you're sort of like in that power chair, but just with the right leg forward. And then when you're ready, roll the shoulders back, slide the heart up, and reach the left foot back as you take lift off. Warrior three. Hands can stay at heart if that serves your balance a little bit more. Left hip in line with the right. Stay here, one more breath. Nice soft bend in the standing knee to engage the muscle. And then see if you can take that left knee up and in again. From here, take your left hand, find your left ankle. Place your left foot to the inner right thigh, inner right shin, or maybe you kickstand right at the inner right ankle. If you play with lotus, if lotus is in your practice and you'd like to take your left foot to the top of your right hip crease and draw the knee down, this is also a variation for tree. So hands can stay at hips, heart, down by your side, or you can grow your branches tall. I'm going to take traditional variation. And then from your tree pose, see if maybe you can blow your branches in the wind a little bit. I feel really grounded when I bring my index finger and my thumb tips together, and I rest one hand down by my side and the other one on my thigh, that is in tree pose. I challenge you to close your eyes, but just a warning, when you close your eyes when you're in balanced posture, it's really, really challenging to hold. So if you're looking for a little bit more challenge, then you might play with closing your eyes for a few seconds at a time. Feel the strength, the intricate little wobbles and wiggles of your right foot. And then if your arms aren't lifted, lift your arms up, pick your left knee up off of your tree posture, send the heart forward, arms and your left leg back, pause in warrior three. With the control of your right thigh, see if you can guide the left toes back to the mat. Inhale, arms up, nice and slow and controlled. Feel that strength. Exhale, hands come down. Option here for yogis that are flowing through chaturanga. If you want, keep that right leg lifted. Shift the shoulders forward, elbows in as you lower. Inhale, heart comes up, ground the tops of both feet. Exhale, slowly lift using the core, roll up and over. Full deep breath in and out. Left leg lifts, inhale. Bend your knees, stack your hip if you like. Exhale, close, take your left knee in towards your nose, step through with control. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, airplane arms. Send the heart forward. Next inhale, see if you can take lift off, lead with the heart, draw the shoulders, the fingers, and the right toes back. You might reach through your heel. One more breath, use your core to stabilize, and then zip the right knee in towards your nose. Arms come up, and then maybe you take your right hand down to guide your right foot to the inner left thigh, shin or ankle. You can take that half lotus variation. And then if you want, hands can stay high at hips or at heart. If your branches blew around on the other side, then bring some wind into this side. If you took any mudra, or if you practiced closing your eyes, take that time here. You have about 3 to 5 breaths. Feel all the intricate little movements of your left foot. Feel the energy of the strength. Good, arms come up, right knee comes up. Exhale, send your fingertips and your right foot back as your heart comes forward. Pause, warrior 3. With the left leg, control the right toes down, arms come up, inhale. Exhale, hands come down to frame the left foot. If you'd like, keep the left foot lifted as you shift shoulders forward, lower. Inhale, heart comes up and through, ground both feet. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Full deep breath in and out. From here, drop down to your knees and then slide onto your belly. If you have a blanket, I would take it to the, let's start with the right side of your body. So you might even pick your body up and slide it to the left side of your mat, and then bend your right knee so that the inner knee is on your blanket, knee is in line with your hip, and then your right foot is flexed. From here, you can take your hands on top of one another and bring your forehead down for half crocodile pose. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Again, knee is over the ankle, foot is flexed, knee is also in line with the right hip. So everything has its nice 90-degree angle. You want to bring a little bit more into this stretch. Left arm can come forward, and you can kind of find like a thread the needle here as the right arm comes underneath. And then I like to take my left fist to the ground, and I take my right forehead to my left fist. And this you can try if you feel cozy, all kind of bound up. It brings a little bit of a twist into the upper back. A nice stretch through that right shoulder again. And then unwind if you're in the twist. Take that right leg down. Pick yourselves up. Shift to the right side of your mat. So that way your blanket here can pad the inner left knee and then pick your left knee up. Can't really see on this side. But your foot is flexed, your ankle is under the knee, and then the knee is aligned with your left hip. You can take your crocodile position here. As you breathe, open that left hip, or extend the right arm. Reach underneath and through. Again, making a fist with the right hand and taking the left forehead down. Good, come back to center. Straighten out your left leg. Move into the center of your mat. You might actually even sit up. I'm going to open up my blanket one more time because we're going to come into full frog pose. So with your blanket out nice and wide, you might even come onto the long part of your mat, or turn to the side and come onto the long part of your mat. Start in table pose with the knees sort of nice and wide. See if you can open up the knees any wider, get to your edge. Again, flex both feet. Knee is stacked over the ankle, both feet are flexed. This might be where you stay. If you have really tight, it's like an inner groin stretch, inner thigh stretch. If you have really tight inner thighs, this might be where you stay. If you can, maybe come down into your forearms. If this still feels like you haven't met an edge, you can also find your block or at any point to support you. You can also kick the elbows out and lay down onto your belly if you have the flexibility in your inner thighs. Keep the feet flexed and breathe. Make sure the inner knees are padded enough so it doesn't take you out of the posture. Notice what sensations arise here for you. Notice what emotions release from your hips and start to surface up. When you meet your edge, how can you breathe through it? Two more rounds. Very slowly, if you're on your belly, come up to your hands, if you're on your forearms, start to peel up. Start by taking the feet in first. Then from there, you can kind of shift the hips back, walk the hands in, and then take your knees in. If child's pose is something you're craving, feel free to take it. Otherwise, swing your legs around, find your seat. We're going to take a little internal rotation of the thighs. So the feet are out wider than your mat, and start to windshield wipe your knees side to side. Next time your knees meet the right side, pick your left hand up, swing it around to meet the back of your mat with your right hand. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, come down onto your forearms. Nice twist through the left side. Kick the elbows out if you want a little bit more space, and drop your forehead down. And then slowly come up. Swing around to the front edge of your mat again. Keep your feet wide. Start it, windshield wipe again, side to side. And the next time your knees fall to the left, pick your right hand up, swing it around to meet your left hand in the back of your mat. Inhale, lengthens your spine. Exhale, drop down onto your forearms, or kick the elbows out and find the tops of your hands. Very slowly come back up. Spin around towards center. If you want to move the knees again internally a couple times, feel free. And then make your way down to your back. Knees come into your chest. Hug your forearms around your shins and give your knees a little squeeze and maybe rock side to side. Lift your nose up towards your knees. And then find happy baby. Grab onto the outsides of your shins, ankles, or feet. Knees come down towards your shoulders, and then your feet lift off of your seat. You might honor stillness or a little bit of movement. From here, yogi's choice. Anything you'd like to honor for yourself for the last couple rounds of breath, a back bend, another hip opener. Perhaps you'd like to just come down to Shavasana early. Take about 3 more breaths, anything you might be practicing. Begin to make your way to your Shavasana. Maybe a blanket or a bolster or a pillow underneath your knees, or if it feels okay, legs can be nice and long. Hands come down by your sides. Give yourself an internal body scan from the feet to the crown of your head. Make sure everything is soft, disengaged, ready to receive. Revisit your intention. Revisit your natural breath. There are moments when rules are meant to be broken, when bursting out of context is the sole way to see with new eyes. There are fences built only to be torn down. The slats look solid, but no one drove the nails in tight. There are barricades around the heart asking to be breached. Sooner or later, we all run out of excuses for staying small and safe. Breaking All the Rules by Dana Falls. Begin to deepen your breath. Re-energize small movements in your fingers and in your toes. Stretch or lengthen in any way that serves you. When you're ready, gather up all of your limbs and roll over to one side. Pause here for a moment and feel gratitude towards yourself for showing up. When you're ready, use your top arm to support you up to a nice gentle seat. Eyes stay soft or closed. Hands land at heart center. Gently tap your thumbs 3 times into your heart space as a reminder that this is your source, your place of truth, where all the answers to all of your questions reside. Then take your thumbs to your lips, gently tapping 3 times as a reminder to always speak from this place of truth. And then your thumbs to your third eye, gently tapping 3 times as a reminder to always see clarity in this truth and only allow in what serves you. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice this lovely Sunday morning. Let me know if you guys have any questions.